Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. I have got two amazing recipes for you today. Some blueberry muffins with maple syrup, absolutely delicious, and blueberry and lime pancakes with, you guessed it, maple syrup. Right, we're going to kick things off today with some delicious muffins first. Get those in the oven baking while we get on then with our pancakes. So, with muffins, you always have to think about wet and dry ingredients and don't overmix. I was always taught to not overmix it, not make it a smooth batter. So, before we get to that point, we've got to mix the wet and the dry ingredients. So, start off with the dry. So I've got my white granulated sugar, which will go in, and if you want the recipe, it'll be down the side, all the ingredients. Carlos will just pop that on the screen for us, hopefully. And if you want the exact recipe, scan the QR code along the bottom. It will take you to our website, petersidwell.com. You'll find the recipe there. So I have got my self-raising flour as well. That can go in. Like a muffin recipe, Emily?
I do, yeah.
What do you make? What's your go-to flavour?
Blueberry or apple and cinnamon.
You like a blueberry, do you? I like a blueberry muffin.
I like an apple and cinnamon one as well. That's quite a good one.
Yeah, I'm with you. Right, so flour, sugar together, and then 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, just for that extra little bit of lift. Okay, and really important, just get them blended together. Okay, because we don't want to mix it too much later when we're incorporating the two ingredients. Right, let's put that to one side, and then we will work on our wet ingredients. So we have got 2 large free-range eggs. In we go. I wonder how many eggs I've cracked in my career, Emily. What do you reckon?
Too many to count.
Good Lord, can you imagine? It's a good job I can do it one-handed, I think. Right, in with, this is full-fat milk. Now, it's quite important that you use full-fat milk on this and not skimmed, because you want that extra fat in the recipe to make the muffins really nice and soft. We then want 125 mils of oil. Now I'm using a rapeseed oil, so this is UK based. It's got a more buttery kind of flavour to it. If you were going to use olive oil, use a mild olive oil. Don't use extra virgin because it'll taste quite viney and green, and it's not the right oil to use. You could use vegetable oil, pomace oil, or olive oil, but we're going rapeseed oil today. We seem to have more and more of it in the UK, which is a good thing, I think, using what we grow. There we go. Right, so we'll whisk this together. And what I'm also going to do is try and get some lime zest into this as well. So as I said before, it's about wet and dry ingredients combining together. Is this a similar kind of recipe that you'd use, Emily?
Yeah, the wet and the dry, I think, is...
Right, so let's whisk that up. And what I'm also going to do is add a little bit of our St. Lawrence Gold maple syrup. So this is the good stuff. It's really, really nice. It's a nice, dark, full-flavoured maple syrup, and it works so well. I've taken a little bit of sugar out to allow me to put that maple syrup
Just put it back in the middle, Pete.
There.
And back towards you. Keep going, keep going. There we go.
There you go. Right, let's get some zest of these limes. Now for me, blueberry and lime work really, really well together. They're such a good combination. Blueberries are quite sweet and they just love that little bit of balance. So we get the zest in and then we'll use the juice at the end. Right. You could also put lemons in if you wanted to, if you can't get a hold of limes. But I think that extra little bit of zip that you get from limes is absolutely delicious. Okay, so put that to one side. Now, let's go and get our blueberries. I'm going with frozen blueberries today. They work really, really well in muffins, but what you need to do is use them frozen, because what I've found over the years, if you thaw them out, your muffins end up like a purpley blue colour. Have you ever done that before, Emily?
Yeah.
And they just don't look as appetizing. So I've got my frozen blueberries here, and they go in frozen to the flour. All right? Good few handfuls. Bit cheaper as well, frozen ones. The fresh one, I think the frozen ones have probably got more flavour as well, certainly in the UK anyway. Give them a stir and then they get coated in flour, and the frost on the outside of the blueberry will kind of hang on to a bit of flour, which will stop the blueberries from falling to the bottom of your mix. Okay, so we'll make a well in the middle and then in with our wet ingredients. Can we see that all right, Emily?
Yeah.
Good, right, in it goes. Right, before we mix this, let's get our muffin tin ready. So I'm just going to put my cases in ready, because once you mix the blueberry batter together, time is of the essence. You've got to be quick and not over mix, okay? So we get ready, a little bit of prep. All right, we okay?
Yeah.
Right, a little bit of tea. Peppermint tea today, Emily. Just think
Very
about that.
nice.
Very healthy, isn't it? I think I've overdone the coffee today. Right, so we're just going to stir these together. Okay, and as I said to you before, we don't want a really heavy mix. You don't want to develop the gluten, and you don't want a really smooth mixture. Otherwise, you end up with a very tight crumb. So it goes kind of against your better nature, but I promise you, that's enough. Okay? So there's just the odd little pocket of flour in there. Can you see that? It's not like, it kind of goes against your nature, but I promise you it's the right thing to do. So all you need to do now is just portion up your muffins. They want to go just to the top of a deep muffin liner, because we want them to kind of balloon up, all right? So just spoon them in. This muffin tin's perfect for it because they're nice and they're deep. I got it from Masterclass, so you can get this exact one from Cook, Serve and Enjoy, and it's part of their vertical stack range. So it's really, really good for this, and it allows the muffin to go one way, which is up, and that's the way you want it to rise. So this recipe will do exactly this amount, which is 12. Maybe it should do a baker's dozen, really, shouldn't it, Emily?
Yep.
Did you learn about baker's dozens at school? Or
No, not really.
I remember learning about it.
I did a dozen and left 11 to sell when I did cakes. So.
Baker's dozen gives you a dozen and one to sell, doesn't it? It gives you 13.
Yeah.
I can only assume that is the logic behind it. I don't know.
Yeah, you meant you're left with a dozen so the bacon can have like the odd end, isn't it?
Yeah, got you. Yeah. In the olden days when you used to bake, Emily, for a living.
Yeah. Glad I don't do that now.
Right. So there we go. Exactly 12 really decent sized ones, which I think is important because you're not trying to make a little cupcake, are you? You're trying to make a muffin. Okay, so
Bring them back towards your pizza so we can see
yeah,
them.
is that all right?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so I've got some oats here now. So I'm going to add oats to one bowl, and then I am just going to cut one of my limes, and I'm going to squeeze the lime juice over the oats. This is my little chef kind of fiddling. This is what makes it even better, because you get this really nice tang of an oat that's a bit crunchier. Bear with me, you'll see what I mean in a minute. So the juice of a lime, and then some of our beautiful maple syrup. So pour that onto the oats. So now it's sweet and it's tangy. You see where I'm going with this now, Emily?
I do.
Right, mix it together and then spoon some on to our muffins. And that juice will sort of stop the oats from burning in the oven because they're dry, you see. But the maple syrup will kind of stick them all together, so you'll get a little bit flapjacky on the top. Cross with the muffin, so you're getting all the best bits. It's going to be delish. Okay, so these muffins are going to bake. I've got my oven at 170 degrees Celsius. They're going to bake for about 20, maybe 25 minutes till they're golden. They've puffed up, and that oaty topping will be tart and sweet and crunchy. Be delicious. Right, while the muffins are in the oven, I thought I would share a simple recipe, but a very important recipe. Pancakes. My kids love them. We probably make them every week at some stage or another for them. So I just thought it would be really good to go through and make proper fluffy pancakes so that you can knock them out whenever you need. All right, so starts with some self-raising flour. Now, if you can't get hold of self-raising flour, Carlos will put a nice recipe formula down the side which will tell you how to make it yourself out of plain flour and baking powder, all right? It's dead easy. In with our eggs. So there's 2 more eggs to add to the list, Emily. Right, we need a whisk. There we go. More whisk than I know what to do with sometimes. So in with a little milk. You can always add a touch more. Don't put too much in. And a little sweetness with our lovely St. Lawrence Gold maple syrup. In we go. So just whisk it together and you will very quickly get a gauge of whether you need to add any more milk. You want it sort of quite a thick batter that will hold its shape, obviously not too stiff that it's kind of like, looks like pastry. It needs to just, as you pour it, it needs to sort of spread and hold its shape. Are you a Scotch pancake girl or are you a crepe pancake girl?
Crepes are lemon and sugar.
Yeah, you see, you beat me to it then. I thought we were going to get into the conversation of what to have on your pancakes.
But Scotch pancakes are ones that you can have a lot of different things with. I don't think you can with a crepe, but with a Scotch pancake you can have lots of different things.
You went out for brunch the other day, didn't you? Did you go Pancakes? Where was it? Lake Road?
Oh,
Keswick?
no, but
What's
I
it
saw
called?
the Lake Road brunch. The table next to me had them and they were epic. They were absolutely epic.
All right, so bacon or no bacon with your pancakes?
If I'm feeling a bit luxurious, streaky bacon though, you can't have any other bacon apart from
I find bacon and pancakes a bit odd.
Do you know where I once had a savoury pancake, Centre Parks, and it was a Spanish inspired.
Don't tell him. Did it have chorizo?
It did, and you had lots of it.
Oh, Carlos.
And
That's it, he's gone. He's left the building.
And spices and all. And so savoury pancakes are good.
I remember having a savoury pancake one very drunken night in Edinburgh in the Haymarket about 4 o'clock in the morning. Don't know why you would have a pancake, but it was there and it seemed like the right thing.
You remember that?
I don't know. Maybe I found a bit of pancake in my pocket or something the next day. I don't know.
Oh.
Why would you have not had a kebab?
Yeah,
or something
exactly.
like that? Why did I have
That's
a
your chef
pancake?
inside you wouldn't want to
Yeah, maybe. So, can you see the sort of the texture there?
Yeah.
Okay, it's thicker than a Yorkshire pudding batter, but not by much. And then you want to just let it rest for a little bit before you start to cook. But for the sake of the programme, we're going to do these straight away. So, little bit of oil, not a lot. Let's get the heat going. And then what I like to do is I like to pour my batter into a jug, which then allows me to transfer them into the pan. But you could use a ladle if you want. It's entirely up to you. So, last year I did Marmite and cheese flavoured pancakes. They were good. If you like that sort of thing, dive back into last year's feed and you will see them there. I'm a Marmite maniac. You're learning to be one, aren't you, Emily? We're getting you there. You haven't had Marmite for a while, have you, in the office?
No.
I did see a picture on my photo stream the other day of you having Marmite on toast.
Oh, God.
Did make me laugh. And a little proud too. Right, in we go. So don't move the batter. Let it naturally spread. Okay, and then we're going to take our blueberries. These are frozen, so just drop them in. We're going to pop a few in there for a little burst of freshness. And basically what we do is we get our plate ready. We've got our slice. We've got our pancakes. We're just going to cook a nice pile of pancakes. All right. I feel like my first might be my best, Emily. Right, let's just turn this final pancake over. Look, you can see the blueberries have just caught on there. Lovely. Right, I'm going to keep this pan on the heat because we're going to make a nice little fruit compote. So, let's add some blueberries into our pan. I'm just going to use this pan because it's hot and it's ready to go. It's fine. It's not a heavy cook, this one. It's quite a light. We're just going to take our lovely maple syrup, St. Lawrence Gold maple syrup, and just melt the blueberries and the maple syrup together. And then to balance the acidity out, we're going to get some lime juice in there. And that's just going to make it not too sweet, not too sour. It's masses of vitamin C in there just to give it a good hit. Blueberries got a load of antioxidants in there. There we go. And because they're frozen, they'll sort of hold their shape, but we're not going to boil the life out of these. We're not trying to make a jam. We're just trying to make a very simple compote. Right.
Just bring your plate to the middle, Pete, if you want.
Yeah, okay. When do you have pancake? Do you like pancake, Emily?
I do, yeah.
Do you? And when would you have pancakes? Breakfast or lunch or brunch?
Brunch.
Is it a brunch thing for you, is it? Oh, so posh having brunch.
Yeah, normally like a 10:30, 11 o'clock thing.
Right.
Very rarely have them, so they're kind of a treat when we do.
Right. They're a weekly occurrence in our house with the kids. They love them. And it's always, at the moment, like the least convenient morning, they'll want pancakes. Bless them. All right. So you can see, I'm just going to bring that up to the boil, and that's it. They're done. And if I just press, can you see the blueberries cooking here? Where's the best? Here?
Yeah, the whole pan.
You can just see they're flat, they're squashed, they're cooked enough. So much so that you can kind of still taste them, which I think is really, really important. Are my pancakes in a good place?
Yeah.
Yeah? So we'll just top now with our blueberries. And the good thing with you using frozen ones is you can cook just enough. Yeah? You don't have to cook all the punnet. Just take out what you need and cook them. There we go. I do love blueberries. Do you know what? When I was learning to cook, we didn't have blueberries in the kitchen. No, they're not. They're a new thing. We haven't had them for long. And then I feel like I should just finish with a little bit of our our maple syrup. There we go. Because if you're going to have pancakes with maple syrup, you might as well have pancakes with good maple syrup. So there you go. That is how to make a classic breakfast pancakes. They are maple syrup flavoured pancakes with blueberries and lime. Now let's get our delicious muffins out of the oven. Oh, they look good. Now, the dilemma, Emily, is which one are you going to have for your breakfast?
Or one of each.
Blueberry muffins or blueberry pancakes with maple syrup? Right, let me just grab something, because I think this will make all the difference. A little bit more zip and a little bit more zing. Oh. There we go, some serious blueberry and lime pancakes with maple syrup. Thank you very much for watching. Now, if you want the recipes, scan the QR code along the bottom or go to petersidwell.com. You will get all my recipes there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.